Football Show is powered by the all-electric Chevy Silverado.
Welcome to the Pro Football Show presented by the Chevy Silverado. Check out the first ever all-electric Chevy Silverado. Visit Chevy.com to build your own Chevy Silverado or the Silverado EV. Week 9 of the NFL. We have a very special guest with us today, Bruce Arians. Thank you for being here. Yeah. Super Bowl champ, Bruce Arians. We've been very excited to have you here. We're excited to have you sitting talking ball with the boys.
It's my pleasure. You know, it's been a long time since we sat in the basement and did the show. So and then up in New York. But yeah, it's great to be here and looking forward to it.
So are you, you've been out, 3 years now? 2 years. Mm-hmm. Are you starting to miss it? Are you starting to get the itch?
No, the first year I went to practice every day and went to the games, and I finally got thrown off the sidelines by the NFL for starting a fight. And
that's right,
I forgot about that.
Big Dom before Big Dom.
I forgot about that.
And so it's like, no, I need to get away. This is Todd's team, and I'm around too much, so I stay at the lake now. And Jason will call and vent on Monday, and Todd will call and vent on Friday. That's my job.
Okay, nice.
You're just there to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
And a little bit more relaxing probably than being on the sidelines.
Totally, yeah. Unless I miss about 5 3-foot putts that day, then that's about it.
Yeah. That's great. That's great.
That's great.
Who's your favorite player you've ever coached?
Man, that's a hard one. I mean,
that's a good question.
My favorite player, because he did more with what he had, was Paul Palmer. Paul Palmer led the nation in rushing at Temple University at 175 pounds, and I gave it to him 45 times a game. And he was the #1 pick of the Chiefs, and really, first team All-American. In the NFL, I couldn't say because I'd piss off about 50. You know?
Can't pick a favorite. Can't pick a favorite kid.
I would lean towards the receiver group of Larry Fitzgerald, Hines Ward, Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison.
That's pretty good.
Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Legend after legend.
Mike Evans, Chris Godwin.
20 receivers in the
I just hope I get to go back to Canton every year for the next 8 years.
I think you will.
You rattled off those, and then you're like, oh, and by the way, Mike Evans, he's there too.
I know I forgot somebody too.
That's awesome. Okay, so we're going to get into the storyline games of the week. We're really excited to hear your insight because obviously as a head coach in the NFL, Super Bowl winning head coach, you get a lot of the ins and outs. And he played in the NFL for 10 years. So
Coach Arians was the very first head coach I got to start against.
Really?
Arizona Cardinals, 2014. I think I didn't have I was so nervous. Very first play of the game, they were in trips and ran a power O pass where they pull the guard, tight end goes down the seam, tried me on the first play. I think I only had a couple tackles that game. We might have won, I can't remember. But yeah, he was the very first coach I got to start against.
When you were trying to fill out the roster, did Will's name ever come up? Being like, all right, we got number 52 and 53, we need someone? Or?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. All the time.
I'll take the let me figure this out.
Hell yeah.
Figure out this answer.
So Will Compton came across your desk a couple times.
Yeah.
Maybe we get Levante David and Will Compton back together.
There you go. There you go.
Compton.
Will, how you doing, Jerry?
I'm doing great. Great. Bye week for me, so I'm relaxing,
Did you have fun on Monday?
I had a great time, yeah. I mean, experience of a lifetime. It really was.
As you can tell, he's a big Steelers fan. He was there holding up a Sussy for Russie sign.
Russ is real. I mean, if I found out anything going to that game Monday night, Russ is very real.
Playing good ball.
He is.
Playing good ball.
He is playing good ball. Yeah. All right, let's get right into it. Storyline games of the week presented by the Chevy Silverado. We'll start with the Broncos at the Ravens. Dan, the Ravens -9. The Broncos last week getting a win. The Ravens losing to the Browns. Who are you taking this week?
Very impressed with what the Broncos have done this year. 5-3. Didn't think they'd be this good. I think Bo Nix is playing well. I also think they have not played anyone. I like the Ravens here, but I'll ask this to you, Coach. When you go through the season and you have these stretches where it's like you might win 3-4 games, but in the back of your head you're playing lesser than competition, and then that step up happens where you're playing a Super Bowl contending team. Can you feel that difference when you get in that game and you're like, all right, this is not the teams we've been playing?
Yeah, it starts in Monday's meeting.
Yeah.
You get the old film out of the way right away, and you kind of jumpstart it to this is a different week.
Yeah.
We're playing somebody that is super explosive. When you talk about the Ravens, especially.
Yeah, I mean Lamar Jackson.
How
do you stop him?
They have so many weapons around him. They keep adding more.
Yeah.
They do such a great job in their front office, and John Harbaugh does too. But I would not want to play the Ravens this week after losing to the Browns.
That's the other thing. So losing that game to the
Scary.
Browns.
A little spooky.
Deontay Johnson.
If you saw Lamar leave the field, I wouldn't want to play Lamar this week.
Yeah, it does feel like they got a little fuck you edge to them this week.
Yeah.
As to what they're going to try to prove. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Ravens.
But then, I never count out Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Sean's, has played against this defense for a couple of times, and Sean is one of the masters of knowing certain defensive coordinators and what they do and how they do it, and putting Bo Nix in a position that he'll be successful.
What is that? Is that just Sean Payton is just really good at like staying one step ahead of the guy, where it's like he knows what they're going to do before they even do it?
Well, Sean has run his offense for so long. He's not a copycat guy.
Yeah.
So he's going to match his offense each week.
Right.
And his players know his offense. They're not watching the other guy's film saying, oh, let's put that play in.
Right.
Look, it was successful. No, we're running our stuff.
Right.
And this is how we're going to beat them. And it always starts with don't turn it over.
Yeah.
Don't turn it over, especially against a great team.
Yeah.
Which Bo Nix he's been doing. I think he's got 7 touchdowns and 1 interception in the last few games. I like the Broncos. I understand. You're totally right about how they haven't played anybody, but starting off 0-2, then going 5-1 since then. Their defense, Vance Joseph, that defense is playing really well. I feel like they match up. It'll be a great test for them. And the Ravens are averaging 200 yards on the ground. They are explosive. But also in the last 4 games, they've given up like 30 points per game. And I feel like the professionalism of Bo Nix that we talked about.
He loves Bo Nix. Loves Bo Nix.
But starts off, he turns the ball over, but now he's in a spot where he's protecting the football more in the offense. Seems like him and Sean have a good rapport. With 9.5 points, that's where I'm taking the Broncos. Okay. I do think the Ravens win this game, but I feel like this is going to be a good week to see where the Broncos are really at.
Okay.
But Lamar's not scary to you,
No, he is. He is. I think everything he's saying is absolutely true. I've had for whatever reason, some fascination with the Broncos, Bo Nix and Sean Payton, and to the point of the preparation, like the cup of coffee that I was there for in the preseason. You'd be at practice, and if a situation in Coach Payton's mind comes up, he stops all of practice to go over that specific situation, and everybody's all ears huddled up and everything else. So I like the Broncos.
Okay, let's go Rams at Seahawks. Will, the Rams -1.5.
Man, the Rams. I think the Rams, the way they played last week, they got Puka back, they got Cooper Kupp back. They're feeling excited, they're optimistic. They had to find ways to win. They won a couple games with them being out. I like the Rams this week, and I feel like the Seahawks. I don't know how they just got killed last week at home versus the Bills.
That's the thing, and
that's what confuses me.
What can you explain for like a Jekyll and Hyde team where it's like Seattle goes to Atlanta and handles business, then they come home and they look like they shouldn't even. They're fighting on the sidelines.
Yeah.
They're fumbling snaps. It's what's the is it because McDonald, who I think is a good head coach, is a new coach and maybe hasn't gone through the ups and downs of the season, or what can be attributed to what we've seen from them?
I think a lot of it's first year.
Yeah.
The first year blues and jitters. You can't handle success, and you do better if you fail because you're all pissed off and you come play. Now when we win, we have a nice ride home, we're chilling all week, and we don't show up.
Right.
If you don't show up in the National Football League, your ass is getting beat.
Right.
I don't care who you're playing, you're getting beat.
Yeah.
And they put a beat down on them, and I would see that bounce back this week. Knowing Coach McDonald, they had a hell of a week of practice, I bet.
Yeah, and Stafford is incredible. I don't know how he keeps getting lost in the shuffle with just talking about the best quarterbacks in the game, but it feels like every year we get a few weeks in the season and people just kind of forget. Oh, Matthew Stafford is a baller.
Oh yeah, he's one of the best there. He's one of the few quarterbacks I would go out even as a head coach early and watch him warm up.
Really?
Because his arm is just unbelievable. There are not 5 better arms that I've ever seen. Now, he's there with Jeff George and guys that had just ungodly arms.
Yeah.
Not necessarily great quarterbacks.
Yeah, Jeff George, couldn't put the other part together.
Unbelievable arm. But Matt is all that in those years in Detroit.
All right, wait, so give us your top 5 arms.
Nice.
Okay.
Top 5 arms.
I saw those wheels turning. I knew Dan was going to ask that.
I saw with your eyes.
Namath.
Okay.
Marino.
Okay.
Jeff George.
Okay.
I got to throw Patrick in there just because Patrick's so unbelievable.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Stafford, yeah.
Stafford.
And I mean, I've heard. I'm gonna by the way, I'm gonna take the Rams as well. But I've heard Rodgers obviously that too, where it's like the sound of the ball is different when Rodgers is humming it.
It used to be.
Yeah. Not anymore. Okay, got it.
Yes, yeah. That was
The grin says it all.
Yeah, the grin.
says it all.
Used to be, then just that little grin. We got you there, Coach. All right, let's go to Jerry's Picking Zoo presented by Stella Blue Coffee. Football season is back, and Stella Blue's coffee, maple pumpkin pie, and apple crumb cake blends are the ultimate game day companions. They're available in both ground cup or K-cup varieties and ground coffee. The seasonal flavors will fit seamlessly into your coffee routine. Grab Stella Blue's limited edition fall flavors today at StellaBlueCoffee.com. Use promo code football to enjoy 20% off any order of $25 or more. And of course, every purchase helps saves homeless pets. Okay, Jerry, we have a new pet this week.
Yes, Leia.
Leia. All right, let's roll the video.
All right, welcome back. Pro Football Show Week 9.
Oh.
Jerry's Picking Zoo. We got a very special guest here. We're going to get into it really quick, but before that, Mika. And this is no shade to Tom. It's Tom's cat. She had no appetite. She wasn't hungry for the W. She lost. She's gone. Week 9, Detroit versus Green Bay. New guest. We have Leia? Leia. She's a Dachshund Corgi. She's a mix. She got the Corgi body with the Dachshund face, so she's a mix. She's gorgeous. She loves me already. Look, I even told her a trick already. Sit. Paul, look at that. Look at that. I'm a dog trainer now. Anyway, we need some assistance, though. So Kelsey's going to come in. She's going to hold Leia back, one on each. Detroit and Green Bay. Look, she's ready. She witnessed it.
Ready to go.
We're going to put her down, and she's going to go.
Oh,
It's the Lions.
That was decisive.
It's the Lions this week. She's so frustrated.
Oh, she
but it was the
got both of them.
Lions.
Overtime.
Yeah.
That'd be a good
It's
bet.
the Lions this week. Book it. We'll be
Coach,
back
you're
next
probably
week.
thinking, what the heck did I just get into?
Yeah.
I was sitting there.
I loved it.
I'm wondering if Jerry ever thinks like the guest is just sitting there. And
Yeah.
There's no reaction happening. He's probably just thinking, man, I wonder what that
Well,
is.
most guests we had are like idiots like us. Like we have like a Super Bowl head coach who's like, what am I?
Well, listen, I mean, you're not making picks of these games, Coach, but I am. And if we find a dog that can pick games, I'm going to follow that dog for the rest
All the
of
way.
my life.
All
Yeah,
the way.
exactly.
Yeah,
Just make sure you have the right treat on the right card.
I mean, that dog knew. I mean, she knew what she wanted. So it is the game of the week presented by the Chevy Silverado, the Lions at the Packers. So Dan, are you riding with?
I like the Packers in this game.
The line seems weird, right? For how well the line
minus
is.
three.
Well,
and a
it's
half.
all right, so Jared Goff, who's been phenomenal, turned his ankle in practice this week. I think he's fine, but he's going, outdoors. The Lions are a different team. The Lions are riding so high. The Packers defense takes the ball away. They have, I think, 19 turnovers this year so far. I think they had 18 total last year. I just think this is Matt LaFleur is a great coach. He doesn't get enough credit for being, and I hate the Packers. I'm a Bears fan. I hate the Packers, but Matt LaFleur is a great coach.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to have them ready to go. And I think I'm going to take the Packers in this game. I hate it. I think the Lions are one of the best teams in the league, or if not the best. But it's hard to win every single week, and at some point you have a hiccup.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm riding that too. I think Coach LaFleur, he doesn't get all the flowers that he deserves, especially with earlier in the year with Malik Willis playing. And to your point too, the 19 turnovers, like when you're in those defensive rooms and your team is hot and you're turning the football over, the conversation, like the meetings are fun, everything's fun, and everybody's kind of challenging each other on who's going to get the next one. Or if you haven't gotten one yet, guys are getting picked at, you're trying to get the motivation going, you're having little side bets and everything else. I like the juju of the Packers, and yeah, I'm with you. The Lions are so good though. The Lions are so good.
I was going to ask you, Coach, like, what do you think? What's going on with Dan
good.
Campbell? Like, I mean, this team.
I love Dan. Dan reminds me so much of Bill Cowher. And but the way they run the football.
Yeah,
I know.
And it sets up that play action passing game that they're getting chunks of 20 and 30 and completing 18 in a row.
right.
It's not like they're getting 1 out of 4.
Right.
These are them all.
Yeah.
Because you got to have the box stacked to stop the run, or they're going to run it down your throat. And they're doing a great job with gimmicks. They got 5 or 6 gimmicks every game, and it's hard to bet against the Lions. I do think it's going to be a high-scoring, hell of a football game.
Yep. Let me ask you this about the gimmicks. When you would go into a game, how many trick plays would you have in your back pocket for that game?
We would start in training camp with 10.
Okay.
And we would just practice them every week, and hardly ever used any of them.
Yeah.
We always had a flea flicker. If you're playing quarters, we got the flea flicker out a bunch. Everybody's got that one. But when you start lining up plays to get offensive tackles the ball, You know, that's creative.
That is creative.
That's creative, bro.
I got
He's
one
not
for
scared
you.
to do stuff.
I got one
I
for
have too
you.
many tackles. I
Yeah.
could send out there for a pass.
Yeah, it's great. And then they're doing the rugby pass. I got one for you. I've pitched it to a lot of coaches. I haven't found one that likes it yet. It's the fake punt. So you run like you're running a fake punt, and then you still punt.
He brings us
But
up.
everybody's got to stay. Nobody can go downfield.
Yeah, I know, but the punt returners be like, oh no, it's a fake, and then you punt it over his head. Fake punt. They'll never see it coming. I also, if I were a coach, I would fake punt every single time for the entire regular season, and then in the playoffs I'd punt. Because they wouldn't be ready for it.
You wouldn't. First of all, not punting, you wouldn't be in the playoffs.
You wouldn't even get that
These are
opportunity.
just some of the things I do as a coach. No big deal.
And how many coaches do you think you've pitched that to?
A lot.
And it's
lot.
gone over.
I have some really dumb coach thoughts. I was thinking, this isn't a baseball show, but the World Series last night when the Yankees went up 3-0 or 5-0 early in the game, I would have pulled Garrett Cole and saved him for Game 6 and been like, we're good. Because I just feel like anytime there's a lead, it's like this is just going to keep happening. We're going to keep winning.
Yeah, I haven't watched any baseball this year.
Yeah.
It's over.
Can you name 3 guys on the Yankees or Dodgers? This is tough.
Derek Jeter.
Nope.
It's crazy.
This
You don't
is
put Derek
genuine.
Jeter
This is genuine.
Mookie Betts.
Yes.
That's one.
What was it, Freddie or Fred? Guy who's got all the home runs.
Okay, Freddie Freeman. Half credit.
Freddie Freeman.
There's a real big one that you're missing.
Come on, you got these.
Otani.
Yep.
There it is.
That's 2.5.
Who's that big bastard from the Yankees?
That's
Aaron
crazy.
Judge.
Aaron Judge.
You're pretty good, bro.
The way that coach looks at you like,
You got to see when they get into when you get Will and Taylor going on baseball or basketball. It's the funniest.
the hockey guys too. I
Yeah,
mean, Biz this
it's
week
so
getting
funny.
Ashanti and Otani. Incredible. But
it's
baseball's
so
over now,
funny.
so you're good.
Yeah.
It's football season. He's a football guy.
He's Dodgers. He's Dodgers. Taylor actually went to the. He
Yeah,
was out
he
in
did. I
LA.
saw that, 'cause-
he left before the Grand Slam.
Oh no! Game 1.
He was like, he hadn't been to a baseball game since 8 years old. I was like, bro, playoff baseball, like, that's awesome. Like, enjoy yourself. And then I was like, hey, what'd you think about being there for that home run? And he was like, we left. Before.
Oh,
I was
that's
like, God,
brutal.
bro.
Actually, so coach, like now that you're out of coaching, like do you pay more attention to the other sports? Or, like when you were, I would assume in football season when you were coaching, it was only football, right? So now you're able to enjoy it a little bit more?
I do. I love playoffs. I don't care what the sport is.
Yeah.
It's the playoffs because I know everybody's playing.
Right.
And everybody's playing hard.
You're right.
You know, so it could be the Tiddlywinks playoffs. I'm watching. Man.
Yeah, no, it's true. There's something about playoffs.
I was watching cornhole playoffs the other day. I mean,
Yeah.
they were getting after it pretty good.
They get it. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's move to the Playbook Picks of the Week presented by DraftKings. What's better than watching football on the weekend? Watching football on the weekend with the DraftKings Sportsbook app in your hand. And our partner DraftKings is hooking up all new customers who bet $5 instantly. You get $200 in bonus bets. And you can also follow all of us and your favorite Barstool personalities in the Barstool betting group on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Again, promo code PRO, and bet just $5 on any wager. Get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code PRO only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. All right, Dan, the Bears.
Yeah.
I know a heartbreaker for you last week.
I'm so sick of talking about this Hail Mary.
I'm sorry.
I'm happy that
No, it's so tough.
Will did text me right after. He's like, I'm sorry. He wasn't mean about it. I credit to you. You were not mean about it.
It's the best Hail Mary I've ever
the
seen.
same thing with Nebraska.
Yeah, no, I was rooting hard for Nebraska. I appreciated that. That was brutal. They shouldn't have won that game, the Bears. They played bad for 3 quarters, and then they turned it on in the 4th quarter, but their defense kept them in it. I am happy the coach is here for 2 games. This is the first one because I have a question. So, I don't know if you followed it. By the way, everyone who doesn't know, Bruce Arians, there's a sliding door moment. He was almost the Bears head coach instead of Mark Trestman. The Bears screwed that up. Whatever. That just is what it is. They tried to make
doesn't weigh on you at all.
Well, they tried to make him do a fake press conference, and he's like, I'm a football coach. What are we doing here? So I'll speak for him on that. That was a stupid thing. So, coach, that happens. The players start saying that they're like, we don't know what happened. Like, obviously, Tyreek Stevenson, lack of focus, which goes back to the whole thing. We always say, like, either you're coaching it or you're allowing it. Matt Eberflus letting them get 14 yards to get into Hail Mary zone and saying afterwards that didn't matter, which it clearly mattered. So now you have a locker room that is, for the first time, kind of questioning their head coach. Their head coach didn't take any kind of responsibility until Wednesday. How do you bounce back as a locker room from that? I'm taking the Bears, but how do you bounce back?
Taking the Bears.
Yeah, I think it had to start in the locker room after the game and with ownership.
Yeah. And he did. Tyreek Stevenson did.
You got to own it. I got to own it. As the coach, as a staff, we got to own it. Now, how many times have we practiced this?
Yeah.
You know, we do not let a guy get behind us, you know, and you don't bat the ball.
Right.
You know, that's the last thing you ever do is bat the ball.
Yeah.
You if you do anything, you slam it down.
Right.
So if those points were all covered a bunch of times,
Right.
I don't think you lose your locker room at all.
Right.
Unless you disown it.
So, but here's the part that I still struggle with. Did you see the last like 3 plays? I don't know if you saw. So at the end of the first half, the Bears did the correct thing when the Commanders are on like the 30 and they play the sidelines. All the guys are on the sidelines, not giving them easy completions on the sidelines to get out of bounds and get into a Hail Mary spot. The second to last play on Sunday, the Bears didn't do that. They basically, the Commanders are on their own 30. You can't throw a Hail Mary from the 30. And they give away 14 free yards. That's coaching. And that to me is like Matt Eberflus should have stood up there and been like, I don't know why I didn't stop that play. Because if that play doesn't happen, I don't think the Hail Mary happens. So that's where I was like, it's as much Tyreek Stevenson as it is Matt Eberflus. And it feels like just coming back together in this game it's going to tell everything.
Yeah, and I don't think they'll have a problem with that.
Okay.
I really don't. I mean, I think they've got a really solid locker room, and they're winning for the first time in a long time.
Yep.
And that cures a lot of ills.
Okay.
You know, we can push some things aside because we're in the hunt.
Yeah.
And if they're flip it and you're back to 2-6 and shit like that happens, like it ain't you can't overcome it.
Right. Right.
Now the termites are coming out.
Yeah.
But
what's that first meeting like on Monday or whenever the guys come in and you're going through that play? Obviously, you cover it after the game.
Yeah, you cover it after the game, but then you stand up there in front of everybody and either bring out the practice film. Or how many times have we practiced this? Now, granted, I don't think anybody practices it live.
Right, usually that walkthrough on.
Yeah, it's always walk through Saturday, and boom, boom, here's your job. All right, do your job. But I think then I let it go. We got 24 hours to get to the next one.
Yeah.
It's always the 24-hour rule. You don't win past Monday, and you don't lose past Monday.
Yeah.
You're on to the next one on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And the players usually have off. The really good teams, there are a lot of players in the locker room on Tuesdays, getting a head start on all the good teams I've been on.
Yep.
So they're getting their prep, and it's over.
Yeah.
There's no reason to dwell on it. Like everyone knows.
Right.
It's over now. Yeah. It's we own it. Let's go.
Okay.
And making it about just those last two, whether it's the call on defense or Tyreek Stevenson. I was going to say, there's going to be a lot of everybody on offense being like, you don't win or lose a game on one single play.
That play.
Everybody's going to be watching.
Happened.
Yeah,
I'm with you. It shouldn't have happened. But it did, and we got other problems to worry about. We got Marvin Harrison. We got Kyler Murray. If we're still on Thursday, if we're still talking about the Hail Mary,
that's a problem.
I'm taking the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Cardinals, they're playing well.
I know they are. Kyler Murray's playing great. Yeah. I just don't try. I think their defense is still. They don't get. They're low in the NFL. I think they're 27th or something in pass rush win rate. So the Bears' offensive line is banged up, but it shouldn't be a situation where they are overpowered all game.
Who are you taking?
I'll ride with Dan.
Okay.
I'll just ride with Dan. He's my guy. Obviously, last week it was the Commanders, and I'm sure I would bet the Raiders or the Titans. Maybe the Titans. I don't know about the Titans. But other than that, I'll be riding with my boy Dan. Okay. I don't want any bad juju. I don't want any bad juju going into an NFL Sunday.
It's a good friend right there, team player, locker room guy. Okay, who's your playbook pick?
Mine's going to be the Browns plus 1.5. And there's not, I know this is a playbook pick. I know it's like you got to see the field. You got to understand what's being called schematically. I'm not doing any of that. To me, I'm betting on the momentum that you can't necessarily quantify when a Jameis Winston steps in the game. I'm betting on the unwavering faith, the belief, dependent on Jesus. I should have led with Jesus. Yep. But give me the Browns plus 1.5.
Oh, I mean, I like what the Chargers are doing. I'm going to take the Chargers. I think the Chargers are starting to open it up a little bit more. You saw to start the season, they were really just running the ball. They were limiting Justin Herbert. I think he was averaging about 25 pass attempts a game. Now he's up to 35 a game in the last 3 games. I do love Jameis, though. You're a Jameis guy. Jameis, I mean, what is Jameis like in the locker room?
Oh, it's fantastic. No one works harder. He's the first one in, last one to leave. He works his tail off.
Yeah.
And, I was so happy for him after that win. And if Justin Herbert throws the ball 35 to 40 times in this game, he's getting sacked 10.
Ooh.
They better run the ball.
Okay.
They better run the ball against that front in that stadium, because that stadium's going to be rocking.
I know.
Yeah.
I've
Browns
been
do
there
play well.
after the Browns beat Baltimore the next week. If you're at home, it's rocking.
Yeah.
And and I know Jimmy's going to try to get them to a faster start.
Yep.
You got to get off to a good start on the road in that stadium this week if you're going to beat them.
Yeah. It's going to be a great game. I'm excited for this game. Any Jameis game is fun.
And you also have Jim Harbaugh, too. You've got just football guys across the board.
It just feels like the Browns just have life again because, Jameis just gives you that spark. You have that belief in you.
It's like we all loved it with the points last week, but the fact sitting there and seeing them win and upset Baltimore and then Jameis get we obviously all love it.
And the
name on the side of your helmet line that he had.
And that was the last two plays for the Browns on offense was like the full Jameis Winston experience where he tried to throw an interception to Kyle Hamilton and then next play he just throws a seed right down the middle for a 38-yard touchdown. Like that's Jameis.
That's life.
It doesn't.
That's life.
He might be one of like the all-time like next play guys where it's he's gonna keep chucking it.
Our year he threw for 5,100, 33 touchdowns. And those were unbelievable. And the 30 other ones.
Yeah, the 30 interceptions. Yeah.
But you live with it because we spot teams 10. You come rolling back and
Yeah.
He'll make up for it on the
He's the definition of no risk it, no biscuit.
all the way.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the Fireball Rapid Fire Picks of the Week. The Rapid Fire Pick segment is presented by Fireball Whiskey. So many things make football great, but you know what the best thing is kicking the living shit out of your rival, and there's no better feeling as an athlete or a fan. This week we've got NFC East rivals Commanders at the New York Giants, and Fireball Whiskey is here to give you a spark to ignite that rivalry all season long. Grab your football buddy, buy a round, and reignite that rivalry flame. All right, Coach, so what we do is we just rattle through these. If you want to stop and talk about one, you can, but we just picking the games and talking about these matchups. So, Will, I'll start with you. The Dolphins at the Bills.
Bills, I think they went into Seattle last week, beat their ass, and I feel like they own the Dolphins, especially at home. I'm going with the Bills. And the Dolphins, it's like, I thought there might be a little bit of magic with Tua coming back. Maybe he takes a step now that it's going to be his second game into it, but I like Buffalo at home.
Yeah, agreed. The Josh Allen and the Bills own the Dolphins. They just beat them every time. I think the Dolphins when Josh Allen is there, I think the Dolphins are 0-7 in Buffalo, so they're kind of the boogeyman for the Dolphins. And
they're kind of in a good spot, too, where it's like everybody knows Josh Allen. Everybody knows they're 6-2, but it's just not really talked about. They're just being that team out in the Northeast right now, just beating everybody's ass.
And they have some weapons now. Like Keon Coleman is starting to really come into his own. Shakir is an unbelievable receiver. Amari Cooper being added. The tight ends, they can do everything.
Yeah, they've got every weapon in the book, and they've got Josh.
Yeah.
And there's no bigger, stronger running back than Josh.
Yeah.
It's like trying to tackle Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And but he just brings the extra dimension.
Yeah.
Okay, Dan, the Raiders at the Bengals.
I hate this game.
This is where I hate this game.
I'm gonna take the Bengals. I don't know. The Bengals are just. I don't understand the Bengals. They're not good, but I will never stop believing in Joe Burrow. So I don't really know where to it's
Coach, we've talked about this every week. It's like he's having an unbelievable season, especially early, and they just keep. They're 3-5. If as a head coach you're looking at somebody like Joe Burrow, what do we do? We've got Joe. Why? What's happening?
Yeah, the demise of their defense is shocking.
I know,
because Lou's such a great coach, and James Betcher is one of my guys on that staff too, and they've been lighting it up defensively for the last 3 or 4 years, and all of a sudden everybody's caught up with something.
Yeah. Off a cliff.
It's like they got to show up sooner or later.
Yeah.
And I would never put it past the Bengals to run out.
Yeah.
How much does guys, the contract talks and everything else seep into a team? Because there's Hendrickson, he's talked about wanting to be extended. You got Jamar Chase, that was happening at the beginning of the year.
T. Higgins.
Yeah, T. Higgins. How much does that affect, knowing that was a focus of the conversation, especially
I think it affects September. Mm-hmm. No, it shouldn't be affecting anymore because it's all put to bed. You're either not getting yours yet or you're going to get yours.
Yeah.
But, and there's never enough to go around. So it affects you, I think, obviously, when you have a shitty training camp, it's going to affect the first 3 ball games. Mm-hmm. And you're not going to have a great camp without your guys in it. You know, I've seen it happen. But once they come back and they're all in, then they should be all in.
Yeah.
It should be mattering in November.
Yeah.
It should be rolling in November.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if they're, because they don't have a big injury bug on them.
Right.
You know, like some of the teams do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would not put it past the Bengals to run the table.
Yeah. Yeah. What point in the season, though, is it like too late? I mean, it's getting later.
Oh, it's just,
it's
there,
time.
brother.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Halloween, brother.
Yeah, it's
The ghost
spooky.
is out there.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so Will, who are you taking in the game?
Give me the Raiders.
I don't hate
No
it.
rhyme or reason.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
And
Raiders
Dan?
+7.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bengals. I don't like it
Okay.
at all.
All right, Will, the Commanders at the Giants. The Commanders -3.5.
I think this line is weird. It only being 3.5 points. I like the Commanders a lot. Their offense is rolling. They had a lot of yards last week. They just need to turn their field goals into touchdowns. Giants played sloppy. 11 penalties. They put the ball on the ground twice, or gave the ball to the other team twice. I just don't think the Giants have anything going for them.
No.
And I think Washington has all the spirit and the motivation and inspiration in the world to continue playing well. Coming off of a Hail Mary, you got, obviously we've talked about Jaden Daniels all year long. The district is on fire. They've been begging for something like this. I like the Commanders.
Yeah, I like the Commanders too. So this one, and this might be just I'm thinking too much into it, but Coach, tell me this. When Brian Daboll has to come out and say Daniel Jones is still our quarterback, that always feels like a bad thing.
It's a terrible thing.
Okay? Yeah. Whenever a coach says this guy's our quarterback, I mean, Lovey did it with the Rex is still our quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, you've got one team that's probably practicing as hard and having fun and smiling, and another team's just looking around at each other all the time going, I don't know, man. Is he really the guy?
Right.
And I'm a Daniel Jones fan.
Yeah.
You know, he beat us in his first game.
I remember that game.
Lit it up.
Yeah.
And, but I just don't, something's missing in New York.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. You know, they had it kind of rolling Brian's first year, but now something's really missing. And it is a trap game for Washington right now.
Yep.
Because, you know, you can be practicing, having a lot of fun, but are you really focused?
Yeah, especially after such an emotional win, where it's like it goes reverse for what we talked about with the Bears. Like you let that win linger, it could bite you.
I see Washington winning probably late.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right, Dan, the Cowboys at the Falcons. The Falcons -3.
This one's easy to me. I'm taking the Falcons. I think the Cowboys are in deep, deep trouble. And it's both sides of the ball to me. It's their defense can't stop the run. Their offense, what you've seen, I think, is they put so much money into Dak and CD. They don't have those. You can't win a football game with just a quarterback and a wide receiver. You need more guys who can catch balls over the middle and give different looks. So it feels broken to me right now for the Cowboys. And the Falcons got a little bit, humble pie 2 weeks ago with the Seahawks, kind of refocused, beat the Bucs. So I'm gonna take the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm with Dan, and to add to that, just not on both sides of the ball, but the sideline, the locker room, the press box, the front office. We were talking about last week about how political it gets.
Right.
When stuff starts to hit the fan over there in Dallas, and I feel like this is a year where it just starts unraveling.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I'm going with the Falcons.
That had to be your least favorite part of the job, the politics involved.
Totally. But Dak is an unbelievable leader.
Yeah.
All right? If there's anybody that can bring it back this week, it's Dak. And he'll say the right things to his teammates. He'll go out and do the right things. To me, this is a trap game for the Falcons.
Okay.
Big division win last week on the road. But I don't see them getting after Dak.
Yeah, they don't. They get no
If you don't
sacks.
get after Dak,
They get no
Dak will
sacks.
get after you.
You're right.
You know,
He doesn't hang his head.
I don't think this is as easy one for the Falcons as people might think.
Yeah, the Falcons.
The Cowboys are at Halloween.
Yeah.
All
They're
right?
3-4.
It's time.
It's time. No, you're right. And
turn
the
into-
Falcons do not rush the passer well. Like they do not get sacks on the quarterback. And it's kind of crazy because they obviously added Matthew Judon. But okay, this is something to think about. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't hang his head.
Because he is right about Dak. Like Dak is like their one guy you can look at and lean on.
Yep.
In moments like this, I just feel like he's just in a bad spot.
It's their
Like he's
defense,
just in
too.
a
He needs help.
tough spot.
He needs some help.
Yeah, he needs some help, whether it's on defense. He needs something, because you're right, if they don't get after him, he can
Right.
definitely make you pay.
Yep.
Well, and the politics in Dallas are always going to be a little bit different just because of the way Jerry runs the team. So
Correct.
it's just kind of just a mess.
Mike Zimmer
Right.
knows Kirk Cousins pretty well. You know, having been his head coach.
That's true.
Zim will have something for Kirk.
You guys both sticking with the Falcons?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Kirk.
Coach has got me
I feel like
thinking
an
that.
idiot. Yeah.
All right, well, the Patriots at the Titans. What a disgusting game. The 2-6 Patriots versus the 1-6 Titans. Titans -3.
You should have known when you started with me that this is going to be the pass game.
Okay, yeah, this is a pass game. I'm just going, and I'll do very quick. Teams after facing the Lions are 0-6 against the spread and 0-6 straight up. The Titans played the Lions last week. I don't like the Patriots in this game, but I'm going to just take it because I'm just going to ride that wave.
Just ride it.
Ride that wave.
Find something. I'll go with that. Give me the.
I'm on your
the
surfboard
Patriots.
too.
Yeah, just ride the wave.
Everybody's riding
Just
the
ride
wave.
the wave.
All right, to jump on that surfboard, let's go to the Saints at the Panthers, Dan. The Saints -7.5.
Derek Carr back. The Panthers they're just so bad. I don't.
I love when Jerry chuckles.
Their low is just getting lower and lower and lower. Where it's just I don't know what you do if you're the Panthers. You just don't have any guys, and you just don't have any solutions. So I'll take the Saints. But have you been on a team that's been like that? Have you been on a team that's like 1-7? That is.
Yeah, I mean, but it was Peyton's first year. We're 3-13, but man, we're getting better every week.
And they're not.
And no, they're not.
Yeah, they're not getting better.
They don't have Peyton Manning
Right.
and building around Bryce like we did around Peyton. You know, we went to practice every day and knew we were getting better.
Right.
You know, that didn't show up that year, but the next year we were 13-3.
Right.
I don't see them being 13-3 next year.
No.
With the way they're handling their business right now.
So yeah, that's a big difference.
How do you keep a locker room together when everybody knows how bad they are? That locker room has to be just a disaster.
Yeah,
right?
When they traded Deontay away, I don't know what was behind it, but that's never a good message for me. As a head coach, I'm not giving away one of my best players.
Right.
If we're still fighting to win.
Right.
Right.
Now, if we're fighting for draft picks, that's a different story.
Right.
That's a bad message to send to your players.
Yeah, very bad.
Right.
And this is still.
Being a player, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah.
Who the hell is that fourth-round pick going to be?
Yeah.
When you're on a team like I want to say we were 3-13, my practice squad year, like everybody in the locker room's planning their New Year's plans. They're getting everything scheduled out for their vacation right after the season's over. Like guys are pretty checked out.
They're checking out at Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Let me ask you. You had Peyton his rookie year. We talked about how you were with Jameis Winston as well. Like, what are your thoughts when everybody kind of talks about all these quarterback conversations and rookie quarterbacks and keeping them in there to take their lumps? Drake May was a topic of conversation. Hey, do you put him in or do you let him sit a year? Like, what was your kind of philosophy, especially being like the quarterback coach for somebody like Peyton who set the record for interceptions that year?
Yeah, for me, you don't learn anything holding a clipboard. Mm-hmm. First of all, you're not getting any reps in practice. Peyton took every rep in practice. Tom Moore has the best statement. Somebody said, what happens if Peyton gets hurt? He said, we're fucked and we don't practice.
It's true.
It's true.
Yeah. So it's like, and then next year, all the interceptions are down. Andrew Luck was amazing as a rookie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We win 7 games in the last 2 minutes. And now, thank God, we were playing for Chuck. We had this thing playing for Chuck that year.
Right.
With his sickness. And we're getting guys off the street, and I'm the interim guy, and I don't even know their names. And I always tell the story, we're playing Kansas City, and we get a big sack, and I said, who the hell is that? It's Jamal Westerman. Jamal, great job, buddy. I'll never forget his name.
Okay, so who are you guys taking in
I'm
the game?
taking the Saints.
Yeah, I'll go Saints.
Yeah.
Saints.
Okay. All right, well, Jags at Eagles. Eagles -7.5.
I like a Peterson game here. Going back to Philly, they like Peterson more than they do Sirianni in Philly. Give me the Jaguars.
All right, I'll ride with you.
Give me the
I'll
Jaguars
ride with you.
+7.5.
Yeah.
Okay. Coach, is that true with him going back to Philly? Does that play into his mind at all, at least?
I think Doug probably over it now, but when you win a Super Bowl with a team and you get let go and your statue's still out there, it's a little different.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
But there's something about the Eagles. There's so much talent there.
So much.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, they got to flip it and quit going for it on 4th down and kick some down field goals and win games.
Oh, I got a question for you about going for it on 4th down and that kind of stuff. If you're down 14 late and you score a touchdown, are you going for 2?
No.
That's wrong. That's probably why you're not coaching anymore.
Dan looked at me right away. All right, here we go. An analytics guy.
Is that the book?
Yeah, because it's
now
essentially.
You've heard my statement.
Well, yeah.
Who wrote the fucking book?
Some nerd, probably.
It wasn't Lombardi.
Yeah,
It wasn't
I know.
Belichick. It wasn't Shula.
But if you trust your offense, you can get a 2-point conversion more than 50% of the time. It makes sense.
What mathematician says that, though?
But if your offense is good. Yeah, obviously it's team dependent. If the Panthers are down 14 and going, I wouldn't go for 2 because they don't have a good offense.
Dan Campbell would go for 2.
Yeah, if you got a good offense, you got a good play.
I bet he does.
He does.
I bet he still regrets not kicking those field goals against San Francisco and going to the
Yes,
Super Bowl.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Going up by 3.
Their kicker
going up
wasn't
by 3
that
scores.
good. Their kicker wasn't
You
that
don't
good.
go up. You don't give up a chance to go up 3 scores in the championship game.
It did not go the way you wanted it
No,
to.
it did
No, it
not.
did not.
But if
It
it
did not.
would have gone that way, it would have been
I
like
know.
legendary.
Yeah.
Legendary. Okay, Sunday Night Football, Will, the Colts at the Vikings. Vikings -5.
Man, I've been high on the Vikings all year. Tough loss last week against the Rams, but Joe Flacco, them making the call for the Colts, I like the spot they're in. Minnesota's going to be tough to play, but with 5 points, I like the Colts.
Here's the thing with I like the Colts as well. Here's the thing with the Vikings defense is you can blitz like Brian Flores is blitzed to start the season, but eventually you're going to have to get guys winning one-on-one. Like, you can't blitz all year because you just leave, especially against a guy like Joe Flacco. But this was the other game I was happy the coach was here for. Because what's going on in Indianapolis, I don't really understand it. I'm not a big Anthony Richardson guy. Why do you bench the guy if you knew it was going to be bumpy and you picked him 4th? And like you said, you can't get better when you're holding the clipboard. I don't really see. I love Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco definitely gives them a better chance to win today. Are they going to win a Super Bowl this year? Probably no. So why aren't you taking your lumps with Anthony Richardson and keeping him out there? Is it because of taking himself out of the game?
No, I think it's because they're close enough to get in the playoffs.
Okay.
All right, in that division right now. And getting in the playoffs is the only way to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
All right, so if you want your guys showing up every single day, they want to have a chance to go to the playoffs. All right, Joe gives them a chance to go to the playoffs. Is Anthony done? I don't think so, but he had so far to go.
Right.
All right, when they drafted him, I don't know if there's ever been a pick in the top 5 with his stats in the history of the NFL.
It's crazy.
And so, you knew you were taking lumps.
Yeah.
But we're good enough to go to the playoffs.
So
let's go to the playoffs, and let's
Once you get in the tournament, anybody's game.
And they can still have a package because he can bring some things in a package that now your defense has to work on 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So if they're doing that, I'm all in favor of it.
What do you think it has a little bit to do with him taking himself out of the game? Because that was a bad look.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean that was you lose a locker room with that
yeah.
because you got offensive linemen that are probably playing with messed up knees, ankles, all kinds of injuries.
It doesn't.
You tapping out at the quarterback position?
No,
That's
nuts.
At least lie and say, "Oh, something was happening."
Yeah, like I thought I got hit in the head or something.
But if you're tired, like just get a run player, like do something.
Yeah.
Not a good look.
Not a good look.
Not a good look.
Not a good look.
That was bad.
Okay, Dan, finish off Monday Night Football. The Bucks at the Chiefs. Chiefs -8.5.
I mean, I think the Bucks are. I love Baker, so I'm gonna take Baker. I ride with Baker. So that's he. Even with Godwin and Evans out, you thought that they would be screwed, but Baker's just a gamer. He was still in that game against the Falcons late. They got to figure some stuff out defensively, though. It feels like they've been lost a little bit defensively the last few weeks.
Yeah, but I'm with you. With 8.5 points, I like the Bucks. I know the Chiefs are 7-0. They're undefeated. But to me, they are not the best team in football.
Oh, Lions?
Yeah, I think you watch these. I mean, Mahomes, he's got more interceptions than touchdowns.
I know.
I know he's going to come alive at some point. Like no matter what, you're going to say he's going to come alive because it's Patrick Mahomes. He's got the Super Bowls. He's got everything. But collectively, the records of the teams, their opponents, is 25-30. The Bucks, I just feel like. I like the spot they're in. They were in a bad spot last week. You lose Godwin, you lose Evans. You feel like, you hate it for them because they had such a good thing going. But Baker to come out and be a gamer, still hit 9 different targets, and be the gamer that he is. I like him. I like him in this spot.
Okay.
And I think the Chiefs. There's going to be obviously. I think they're going to lose at some point this year. But I just feel like it doesn't feel like a real 7-0.
Yeah.
Coach, what are you seeing from this game?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a tough one. And I love Baker.
Yeah.
He's my guy, and they do have other weapons. Those backs they have, and Liam Cohen has done a great job in his first year. I don't know if I've seen anybody averaging close to 30 points a game in a first-year takeover in a new offense. So it's a credit to the guys buying in. Defensively, I never bet against Todd Bowles. You know, now he's playing with a short deck with the corners that he's got. You know, a couple of young guys in there. The injury bug has hit him hard defensively in the back end. But as a betting man, I never bet against 15.
Yeah, Mahomes.
Even in the Super Bowl,
it's so crazy.
I never felt comfortable till we got the last interception because we hit him one time and he's laying flat.
Yeah,
flying through there and throws one and hits a guy right in the face.
It was the greatest.
I'm like, that's impossible.
It was the greatest incompletion in Super Bowl history.
Unbelievable.
I think
they caught Mike Evans and the guys on the sideline on the film going, this dude is unbelievable.
Yeah, he was literally completely vertical on the ground, throwing it like 30 yards down the field.
Going out, working out quarterbacks and meeting with quarterbacks over the last 27 years, he was one of the most impressive interviews I've ever done.
Are you saying pre-draft?
Pre-draft.
Wow.
Why is that?
Imagine if you picked Mitch Trubisky over him.
When I took Peyton and I took Andrew, they're cerebral off the charts. Pat was right there with them. We put stuff on the board, you know, and out in the middle of the workout, I said, I'm the weak safety. It's man protection. How do you fix it? He gave us the right call. And it's like, all right, slide protection. Here comes a strong safety. He gave us the right call. I looked at Byron Leftwich and Byron said, man, that took most guys 3 years.
Yeah.
He got it in a meeting and got it right. Like, and then he's throwing it into a 30-mile-an-hour wind like it's nothing.
Yep.
Yeah. So it was super impressive in Lubbock that day.
Yeah. And the Chiefs, the Chiefs defense is great. Like they stand up. That
Spags.
game,
Spags going to have them now.
That game against the Raiders, like that was a game that if they don't have that defensive performance, the Raiders, I think, started the second half, they got a pick. I think they got a punt return with the penalty tacked on. They started at the 28-yard line of the Chiefs, and then they got a pick and started at the 3-yard line of the Chiefs. So 2 times, they got 3 points out of it.
Right.
Like that's how you win football games. Like your defense bows up in those big moments.
Nobody gets more free hitters to the quarterback than Spags.
Yeah.
I mean, his blitz design has been off the charts for 20-some years. You know, he learned it from Jim Johnson, who was one of the best ever. Like, there's only one guy out here over the slot. He can't blitz. He's coming. As a quarterback, you're like, I'm good over here. And you get hit in the back of the head. And it's like, no, Spags is awesome.
Yeah.
I love football.
I love fun. That's
it's the best.
Such a Will quote. I love football. Okay, time for hot takes. Dan, you have a hot take for Week 9?
I'll say that Bijan is going to have 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
I don't think the Cowboys have an answer for Bijan. I think he's already broken out. He's already an incredible player, but I think this is like a whoa type of game for him.
Give me Bo Nix 250+ with 3 touchdowns against the Ravens.
Wow. Yeah, Ravens' secondary is banged up.
What you think?
Jerry, you got a hot take?
He had it last week.
Yeah, Jerry, you got a hot take?
Yeah, I got a hot take.
What is it?
Steelers are going to the Super Bowl this year.
Oh.
Yeah?
I've seen it already, yeah.
Coach, what do you think about the Steelers?
They're doing a hell of a job.
Yeah.
Hell of a
Tomlin's
job.
the best.
I mean, winning with Justin the way they won, now winning with Russ, but that defense is legit. That's the best Steeler defense I've seen in a couple of years.
Yeah.
If they stay healthy.
And I said it on PMT on Monday, but I don't know why I ever doubt Mike Tomlin because it's so stupid. Like the switching from Justin Fields to Russell Wilson, I thought that was a weird move when you have a 4-2 football team. You've seen it. Like the offense, and I like Justin Fields, but the offense looks different. And George Pickens is now involved in a way that he was not involved. Mm-hmm. That's just, it's a game changer.
Yeah, when you have a deep ball accurate quarterback, the receivers are ready to play.
Yeah.
You know, and you see George get frustrated all the time. I'm open, there goes the ball over my head. And all of a sudden now it's dropping in the basket. Or I can at least make a play on this ball.
Yeah.
And Russ is going to give him that ball that he can make a play on all the time. I worry about the Steelers if they get into a team that can really rush the passer.
Yeah, I know.
I
think the Chiefs get their first loss on Christmas this year to the Steelers. Come to Pittsburgh late in the year. It's cold, tough. Steelers defense, light them up. I do. I don't think Mahomes will win the Super Bowl this year. I don't think they are.
No.
I don't think so. I don't think this is their year.
No.
The Steelers?
I really want it to be. But I think at the very minimum, I think the Steelers make the AFC Championship game this year.
Okay.
At the very minimum, I do.
When you have a receiver like Pickens or somebody like checking out visibly, like that people bring up, week after week, look at him on this route here, look at him on this route there. How do you have those conversations in your meeting room?
First of all, I never had one.
Well,
I had one.
Yeah, you had one.
As a rookie.
Oh.
As a rookie.
Oh.
And,
you didn't have one that left in the middle of a game?
He was asked to. But yeah, it starts in practice, and it starts with your room, your position coach and the leaders in your room. All right, the Steelers always had great leadership in every room. Hines would not allow certain things to happen, and he controlled that room. It was easy for me as a coordinator because Hines was going to control the room.
Yeah.
And there's never enough balls to go around, but you can't show it on the field. You can get in the locker room, throw your helmet, bust shit, do whatever you want to do, all right? But you can't show it on the field to your teammates. And like I said, when I think of the receivers I named earlier who are all going to the Hall of Fame, none of them were that way.
Yeah, yeah.
It's true.
They were all selfless, not selfish.
Yeah.
It's true. All right, time for a new survivor pool because everybody's won.
Yeah.
Or lost.
Back in it.
Everybody's back in. Everybody's back in. It's 1-1. Dan won last week.
You won? Yeah.
Yeah, he won. So you have 1 point.
Broncos, you had the Jets.
Jets, nice.
And Dan has 1 point. So Dan, I'm going to let you go first.
Yeah, we're at a disadvantage, Jerry, because Will has every team available because he's been out.
Yeah, but I lose every time.
All right, I'll take the Saints. I'll take the Saints.
Jerry?
Vikings.
Will?
Give me a minute.
Am I picking for the guest chair?
Yeah,
okay, so I'm going to take the Commanders for the guest chair.
Let me get the Bills.
Okay.
Because you just want to win one.
Yeah, I gotta do something. You know what I mean? I know I'm using a team right there. I gotta get something.
Every single week.
Every time I'm in this thing, I lose the first week and I just sit and listen to everybody else. I have to win. Let's go, Josh Allen, the Bills.
All right, Coach. Thanks for being here. Anything
Yeah,
else?
it's been so much fun. You're the best.
Just talking ball.
Yeah.
Just talking ball with the boys.
Yeah.
Hearing old stories. Yeah.
It's the best.
It's been awesome.
Yeah.
Being great. Thank you so much for
thank you,
being
guys.
here, and we'll see you
Appreciate it.
guys next week.